Mad Hair Patrick, have you decided what you're going to review today?
No, we're a bit slow on new animation content this year, and we're not even halfway through. Maybe I should review another video game. Let's see, nothing here sparks my interest. I wonder...
Is that your Garfield Mad About Cat CD-ROM game?
Oh yeah, I used this for the 9 Lines review skit.
And that?
That's the Simpsons Cartoon Studio. It's pretty much like making your own Simpsons short.
You seem to have a lot of gaming relics with you. Why don't you talk about them?
I don't know, they're not enough to make a review by themselves. Most of them are basic and consist of grade school challenges. I just keep them as childhood treasures.
You can talk about multiple games in one review. People on the internet nowadays have grown so addicted to a nostalgia project from the 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s.
Oh, come on, Marvin. Nostalgia can't be that super powerful.
The Peanut Butter Gamers Arthur games have a total of over 7.1 million views. The SpongeBob Rehydrated game sold over 1 million copies.
Okay, you made some good points. Let's give a few of these a try. Well, in every Wonders Review episode, I always look over one specific animation media project individually. In this video, we're doing something that's different. A while back, before console games like PlayStation or the Nintendo Switch were huge, I was more into playing computer games. Yes, people are still playing and buying them on Steam, but I'm talking about classic CD-ROM games. They were filled with colorful graphics, smart critical thinking, and wondrous imaginations. Most of them are a way to distract you from reality and be fascinated in what sort of world these games are living in, much like the later console or online video games. Now for this review, I'm only going to look over anything related to computer games. However, I'm not going to go in any order or tie them to any theme. I'm just going to talk about the games I played back then and see if most of them holds up. And I will include some of the more recent PC games as well. Even though many of them have already been ported to iPads or other consoles, I will still talk about them since they were made for the computer first before anything else. And by the way, I'm not putting a grade scale for any of these. This is more my personal opinion than a general review for each of these. Welcome to another episode of the Wonder Reviews. Let's WandaVision this video. This is a compilation review that I like to call Night of the Living Computer Games. Let's begin with something quote-unquote normal with an underrated gem called Day of the Tentacle, a sequel to an old graphic adventure, Maniac Mansion. 2 walking tentacles come across this river behind this house that's spilling out toxic waste. When one of them drinks it, he grows arms, becomes super intelligent, and gets thirstier for world domination. Trust me, this is the least craziest thing that happens in this game. The Green Tentacle sends a letter to his friends, a nerd, a rocker, and a strange medical girl, to stop Purple Tentacle from taking over the world. The only way to stop him is time travel, but the capsules send 2 of Bernard's friends into 200 years in the past and future. So each of them must fix their time machines, get back home, and go back in time to stop the toxic waste from polluting the water. So one of the reasons why people seem to remember from this is that it's a nicely laid out game, almost like you're playing a comic book than actually reading it. Yeah, back then it was covered in pixels, but right now, it's full of detail. And with each time period you play through, it does present a butterfly effect, like when you trick George Washington to chop down a tree, and in the future, the tree suddenly disappears. But what presents its magic is the way the playable characters interact with other characters from the past, present, and future. The mad scientist who's responsible for the pollution has that likable personality as the doctor from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and everyone else who worked with him, or anyone related to him, share the same creativity as that character. When we travel to the past, it feels like you're playing a Bill and Ted video game, and it's fun as the movies.
Push the kite into the air, alright?
I'm on you, lasagna.
But the crazy thing is the future and ending. As you wander around the game, you get these newspaper articles where the Purple Tentacle is really making history as some sort of iconic figure in the future and later succeeds in taking over the world. making humans as house pets. Even after you go back in time to fix everything, he has a backup plan, summoning future versions of himself, and the three main characters are mixed into this three-headed person. So this game is effective. It's still being playable to this day. It has nice animation, bizarre storyline, and it continues to be a historic game to check out. Do you have those moments where there's a game you want to have, but it comes with a pack of other games you don't care about? This is one of them I ended up getting reluctantly. Yeah, in the late 1990s, Furby was one of the biggest toys Hasbro has ever sold. But it's hard to make a Furby game because we know nothing about it. So in this game, it's pretty much a simple arcade game. There's basically 4 games in this. One you had to fly in the sky, another one you had to match the following Furbies in a roller coaster, there's one you had to match the dancing rhythm, and the last one is going through a maze. In the home screen, you do get to customize it and play with a Furby like a pet, but there's nothing much to it. The colors are nice, and the scenes with the roller coaster looks a lot of fun, but other than that, a Furby game isn't gonna sell as much as Candyland or a Tonka video game. Unless you turn into Nightmare Juice, and you better not upset Mama. I guess it doesn't help either that this furry thing is a little annoying. Even when you don't click on Furby, it will chirp like a bird constantly.
Cock-a-doodle-doo! Hey! Lula! Blah, blah, blah. Lola! Lulu!
I'd rather raise a gremlin. Still a revolutionary toy, just not revolutionary to be an interactive game. Oh, this one's a lot of fun! The Jumpstart series are a bunch of edutainment games that are made to teach you, but create some games and puzzles to make it fun. One of the games that stands out in the series is Third Great Mystery Mountain. A spoiled girl named Polly sends a bunch of robots back in time so they can alter history and she can ace her quiz. You team up with a friendly robot named Botley, and we travel around the house for clues to figure out where and when Polly sent those robots. While the early Jumpstart games didn't have a serious story or goal to achieve, the third game made it look like you were using education as a tool to save the world. And with each room you enter, it's full of smart puzzles and creative architecture. The subjects used in this are math, science, spelling, art, music, and even astronomy. But there are specific requirements you had to achieve besides finding the 4 clues in each stage, like when you ran out of battery juice, you had to regenerate it at the generator using math. Or you need at least 1,000 points to enter the time machine room. And when you collect all the clues, you play a quiz show and answer some questions. Admittedly, it does take a long time to collect 25 robots to get the true ending, so the determination to finish it will wear off a bit. But it's still an adventurous educational game that definitely shows how daring knowledge can be. Speaking of edutainment and time travel, how many of you remember this one? The Humongous Entertainment games are one of the most popular educational and imaginative games of all time. They contain a variety of adventures, lovable characters, and kooky humor that pops out whenever you point and click. From the underwater mysteries with Freddy Fish, to the dark atmosphere with Pajama Sam, to the epic spy missions with Spy Fox. But the one character that started the whole thing is none other than Putt Putt. He went to the zoo, enters a big race, joins a circus, he even went to the moon! The one we'll be discussing is Putt Putt Travels Through Time. Putt Putt is visiting a friend named Firebird to see his time machine. When he activates it, the portal sucked up Putt Putt's dog and school supplies. Now he must travel through 4 different time periods to find his stuff and close the time machine for good. The reason why people remember this game so much are the point and clicks. They're full of surprises and silly jokes whenever you see something. Take the Old West for example. There's a lizard chasing a chicken Looney Tunes style, and it does feel like you're watching a cartoon. It even has some great music and soundtrack. The time song is so creative and upbeat. The best part about the game is that it randomly picks a puzzle you had to solve for each time period. Like in the future, you had to trace something to get Putt Putt's lunchbox, but when you play it again, the lunchbox isn't there. Instead, it's in the medieval era guarded by a dragon. But the biggest thing that stands out in the Putt Putt games is the world building and side characters. It's not just a regular car with a walking face. It has different kinds of vehicles from different time periods. All of them are memorable for their personalities and distinct features. The Putt series was the Cards universe before the Cards universe. And that also includes some of the dinosaur and animal characters. With charmful references and wild imaginations, Putt Travels Through Time is an inedible edutainment game.
This is Jeopardy!
Geez, we're going on this knowledge train, aren't we? Well, of course, Jeopardy would be adapted into a home game, and for the most part, it stays true to the show extremely well. There is a difficult setting on how easy and hard you want to play. The game also includes a random collection of categories with general knowledge questions. But what really sells this for this game is Alex Trebek hosting Jeopardy like he always do during his time. Plus, there are some nice transitions whenever the player answers the question right or wrong. Oh, and just a little tip, you can write your name on the screen or simply draw something random. Even the computer does it itself for its own AI characters.
Now if Watson was a contestant on the game, he'd probably paint the Mona Lisa like an Etch-a-Sketch.
If you decide to test your smarts, then try out this home version of the game and see if you are capable to be a Jeopardy champion.
Thanks for playing Jeopardy. Hope you had a good time. So long, everybody.
I don't know why I add this one on this compilation, but I remember I used to play Crazy Machines all the time. All you had to do is solve some puzzles on getting these contractions to work using spare parts. You have a chat with his ugly CGI Doc Brown, and that's pretty much it. Seems like a lot of fun making your own Rube Goldberg project, but there's not much variety to this game. We don't even know why the scientist is making these contractions in the first place. All it is just take some time to figure out these puzzles quietly while making your own contractions. But maybe that's the thing why people seem to like this game. There's nice calm music and it takes a lot of thinking on how to get these machines to work.
Now if they made a Mythbusters Rube Goldberg, that'd be awesome. They would definitely give everything that they got.
A neat idea, but not sensing any craziness going on. Next game. Hey kids, do you ever want to go to the scariest place on earth? Well, there is a Goosebumps Horrorland video game. Let's talk about the other one. This is supposed to be a sequel to one of the most famous Goosebumps books, One Day at Horrorland. You're out at night and come across Lizzie, the main character from the book. She goes on and on that her family and her friend Clay has disappeared. By the way, I had to address that none of the performers are the same actors and actresses from the Goosebumps TV show, and with good reasons. In the Goosebumps TV episode, it ended with only the Morris family near the edge of a cliff because the horrors, the monsters from Horrorland, are remote controlling their car in an unknown fate. But in the book, the Morris family and Clay did escape Horrorland and made it home safely. But one of the horrors sneaks aboard and gave them tickets to Horrorland next year. And I do think it's a brilliant idea to use the tickets as a plot device to transport you to the theme park. The location looks cool and not that scary. The only thing that seems off by this is that Horrorland is actually made by a man named Madden Storm. I don't know, I thought I liked the idea that it was actually created by the horrors for their amusement and broadcasting on their monster channel. Not some weirdo who does it to hear children scream.
What could possibly be more fun?
Is that kind of like if Wonderland was created by a weirdo from the Looney Bin?
There are a couple of references from the books like the monster cars and this walking scarecrow. The one element that creeps me out the most is this underground demon monster beneath the trash can. Talk about a shocker on Shock Street. It's not even a requirement to pass through the underground, you just have to collect tokens, monster cards, and find a shortcut. There is a twist ending to this game like most Goosebumps stories do, but there's two kinds based on how you defeat Madden Storm and his plans. If you really want to see how brave you are in completing this entire game, well, enter if you dare, you are still in for a scare.
Beware of what lurks there. Red eyes aglow.
Let's move from scary stories to Wubulous books. Living Books is an interactive read-along series where you can read the books they were adapting, but also play along with the games and other interactivities. These include Arthur, The Embarrassing Bears, and Dr. Seuss. The Living Books games I ended up getting are the Dr. Seuss ones, and I had a blast playing with them, especially Green Eggs and Ham. Yes, all of us knows the story. Sam gets Guy to try something new, but in this game, it stretches even further. Remember when Sam introduces himself? He goes all out around the house, much to Guy's annoyance. it is a Dr. Seuss game, it does contain other Seussical creatures from other books. Some of the things you click on do bring in some huge chuckles. Some of it is so funny, you can actually hear the programmer laughing at this. The game also has a running joke where we see this green hen and she sometimes carries a green egg. There are only 3 mini-games, 2 of which are rhyming games, but the one game that's the best is the kitchen matching game, where there's a bunch of other foods with different colors, like purple pancakes, yellow lamb chops, polka dot marshmallows, gold lobsters. Wait, won't biting gold break your teeth? These foods are so great, I actually want to see any of them make a cameo in the 2nd season of the Netflix cartoon. I play this here and there, and I will play this anywhere. I like green eggs and ham. Thank you again, Sam I Am. Virtual game. There is a Simpsons game where you can actually explore the entire city of Springfield. From the Simpsons house to the movie theater to the power plant, you can even enter the Stonecutters Club. Well, you have to find and collect keys and passes in order to enter these unique locations, but apparently Homer is still the chosen one in this. Yeah, all that chosen one power, making a new club without him, all forgotten. But don't worry, he'll give you some life lessons.
Despite what you may think, nobody wins in a butter-eating contest.
Even back then, the computer animation does look amazing to check out. The game doesn't have an actual plot or goal, but to just see the locations you remember from the show. There are some Simpsons cards featuring characters from the cartoon, but it doesn't unlock anything important. But since this is a point-and-click game, it does contain a bunch of funny jokes we remember from The Simpsons way back then, along with references to some of their famous episodes. I do actually wonder though, would it be a lot cooler if we had more virtual areas based on a cartoon? There's a variety we can make nowadays.
Hi everyone, welcome to Virtual Gravity Falls. Here's our latest attraction, the legendary Cheapskate. Don't listen to him, I'm the real me, he's a pod person. Just a pre-recorded hologram. Welcome to Virtual Gotham City. Uh-oh, looks like the Joker is about to release his deadly laughing gas. Welcome to the Park from Regular Show.
Virtual Springfield, a well-known city to The Simpsons' unknown state.
Hey, my old baseball glove.
Oh boy, now we're talking. It's about 2 guys named Cuphead and Mugman who had a gambling problem, one of which they lost a bet and their souls are now at the hands of the devil. In order to get their souls back, they had to collect souls of runaway victims and play along with the demon's little offer until they find a way to outsmart him. What makes Cuphead an outstanding game is the animation. Look at this animation. It clearly shows it's an homage to the golden age of cartoons like Disney, Looney Tunes, and Fleischer from the 1930s. Even the music is unforgettable. Everyone remembers the King Dice theme songs, the narrator sound effects like Well Up or Knockout, and let's not forget the Barbershop Quartet. This has got a massive popularity, there are merchandise and upcoming DLC, there's even an anime series coming to Netflix. And of course you have the bosses. Each of them are a tribute to a familiar cartoon character or even celebrity from the Golden Age. The same goes to the running and mausoleum levels. But let me tell you, it's really hard. What's more frustrating is that there's no health bar on any of them, so you can't figure out if you're close to defeating them unless you die. Even if you buy and unlock any power-ups, it's not enough to defeat them in less than half a minute. It's a game you have to beat based on strategy, memory, and luck. The crazy thing about this game is that it's so hard and frustrating, it's really good. Now keep in mind, just because a game is hard or difficult doesn't mean it's bad. They were made to see if you were really up to the task.
They are so tough and creative, I made my own personal list of my favorite boss battles. So without further ado, here are the top 10 Cuphead bosses.
Number 10, Sally Sageplay. Number 9, Jimmy the Great. Number 8, Baroness Von Bonbon. Number 7, Rumor Honeybottoms. Number 6, Ribby and Croaks. Number 5, Calamaria. Number 4, Captain Brinybeard. Number 3, The Devil. Number 2, King Dice. And number 1, Hildeberg. It's hard, it's frustrating, and it's still awesome and beautiful. I'm definitely looking forward for more adventures with Cuphead and Mugman. Well everyone, that's enough computer games to look over today. Thank you so much for joining me on this nostalgia trip. There were definitely some fun moments, some ridiculous moments, and some that are a bit bizarre. I know there are still a ton of recognizable ones that deserve to be looked upon, but who knows, maybe in the future I'll do this again for any other memorable or unique retro games to check out. For now, it's time to power down the computer and recharge its batteries.
I'm Mad Hair Patrick. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to give that virtual idea one more try. Welcome to the Netherworld from Beetlejuice!
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe me for a new review and other project every week. I'll see you soon.